Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fifth episode of the Parahack Let's Learn Sveltekit series. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Sveltekit Form actions. And pardon me for not posting any video until now, but I'm back now. So I'm basically going to be freestyling this video. So yeah, pardon me again. All right. So how does form actions work in Sveltekit? Well, this is one of the nicest features of Sveltekit, and it's actually very easy. So first of all, we begin by defining the form because of that's how forms work in HTML. And Svelte tries to mirror HTML as much as possible. And in the form field, we have input fields. So let's have a very familiar example of a login page. So we have name, and we'll call this an email. We have another one. We'll call this password, and we also change the type from text to password. And right after two of those would have a button that says submit. All right. I want you to notice something, and if you didn't get it, but I made sure I placed in a name there, and we'll see why we're doing that later on. And I am not removing this action part. Now, if you are used to other JavaScript libraries, you might be used to doing all of the form submission on the client, which is not a bad thing. You can actually do that on in SpellKit, but it's recommended to do them on the server because that works without JavaScript, and even during iteration, you can still submit a form, and it's just the native way things work. Except you are sending data directly to like an API, then you probably want to do it on the client, but in most cases, you want to do it directly on the server, and that's when form actions come very, very handy. So let's take a look at what this actually looks like in the browser. Open my browser. And as you can see, completely unstyled. Again, pardon me, freestyling. We have two input fields, and it was already filled for me because of the browser I'm using. But I I have my email here, and I have my password here already filled, and I have my submit button here as well. No CSS. Looks very great. But how do we actually submit this form? Well, we need to actually create a server file, and you do that by creating a plus page.server.js or TS file. We are working with JavaScript here, so that's why it's a JS file. And in here, you need to create an action. So in Sveltekit, we have this little um, snippets we can use to create actions. Okay, that's load function. I can say kit actions, and the way an action actually looks like is very simple, very minimal boilerplate code. So the little snippet stuff is not even useful that much. But all you need to do is just export a object called action, and in this object you can have one default action or multiple named actions. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. So let's start with a default action. To define a default action, you just have to use the word default, and then you create a function from this. Now this will most likely going to have to be an asynchronous function. So we'll design that by putting async in front of there. And in here we can get a couple of things from here. And in here is the event. Now what I'm doing is I want to destructure directly from the event. So two ways you can do this is to just go here straight and say event, and from events we can come and destructure here, say const equals to event. But I think this is long format and we don't actually need the event singularly on its own. So we can destructure directly from here as event. And if you're using VS Code and you have the Svelte VS Code extension, this should be giving you autocomplete. And I believe the reason why it's not giving me the autocomplete that I want and that I live for is because I'm not using TypeScript. I want to believe that's the reason, but I'm not sure. But usually you get this autocomplete and it's just this experience that's made in heaven. So what I want the destruction from here is just one very important thing, and that is the request. And from the request, I can get the form data. So I'll name this data, let's say equals to await request dot form data. And now getting the input fields is as easy as doing data dot get, and in here you put in the name of that input field. That's why we actually were adding a name attributes to the input field so that we can actually identify them easily. So I can say here const email would be equals to data dot get, and the name of the email field is email. I can do the similar thing to the password as well, and I can log both of these to the console. So in our example, we're just going to log it to the console.log. I'll put the email and password. So let's actually try this. And before this would work, let me just check something out. Oh, we need to define the method and also complete the action. So the method in this case is going to be posts. And a lot of people like writing posts in like capital letter posts, but you don't actually have to. You can just write it, you know, lowercase. But I just prefer this way because I feel scared that it won't work if I do it any other way. Now this is the action, and for the action, we're going to put in the part of the page, and since we are at the root page, it's going to be slash. And before we continue, I want to apologize if my audio is not good or my voice is very late in the night, and I decided to do this video. Now, I saved this file, and I make sure I also save the server file as well. And I'm going to open my, what did I press? I'm going to open my running server. What? Open my running server. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because of this form is going to be submitted on the server, remember? And it's not going to show on the browser's console. So when we submit it on the browser, we're going to see the results here if we get any results. So let's actually test this. And I don't want to use my password because it's actually going to text. It's going to log out of the password as a text. So I don't want that. I'm just going to write anything. I'm basically just going to write my name here. And I click on submit. So let's see if this actually works. And yeah, I feel like it didn't work, but let's see. Hey, it actually worked. So as you can see, we have the email and the password logged out for us here. And that is as simple as it gets, And then the other thing that I probably want to show you is named actions. And named actions are very similar to default actions, but they have names. And with named actions, you can have multiple actions in one file or in one page. So yeah, we have a default actions. For default actions, we only have one action. But if I want to have multiple actions in this one page, I would want to use a named action. So for example, you have a page where you have the login form and the registration form or some other forms like forget password and you want that in one page, you can do it here. So just need to change this from default to login. And now I can have multiple actions here. I can copy this and I'll call this register. Yeah. And I can have like multiple of these forms now. And I can go to my first page.svelte file. And now the path is going to be different because of I can just go to slash. Slash is the home page, the root page. But now we are talking to unnamed action. So how do we actually do that? First of all, since it's the home page, we just put a question mark in front of it, and then we'll put slash, and then the name of the action. So if I want to go for the login action, I'll just type in login. If I want to go for the registration action, I believe register, I'll just go write register. So let's go for register. So you can actually see it log on register. I'm going to register. I'll paste that here. I'll save this. And I'm using console ninja, I remember. So this log should actually show on the browser. I don't need to open my server. So I'll open my browser. Should show on the editor, sorry. Open my browser, I'll get rid of this. I'll just write Sveltekit rocks. And I'll submit. And once I submit, you see it actually log out in the register action. It logs out my email and it logs out the password. But you see the login doesn't actually do anything because we didn't actually make the request to the login, and we can actually make a request to the login if we wanted. And the cool things about Action is that you can actually make requests to them from any page. So I could be on my settings page and I can make requests to actions that are um on my own page or in my dashboard page or some other page somewhere. So they just have this very cool way of doing separations of consigns, and your forms are just kept and separated in one place, and the actions are kept and separated in one place. And you have this connection or connectivity between both of them, both the client and the server, and it's extremely cool and it's extremely easy. So you can actually do a lot more with form actions. And I would advise you to go to the documentation, and that's one thing that I want to be letting you guys know now is for you guys to actually be going to the documentations yourself. So this is the Sveltekit docs on formations. It's well detailed. You learn everything that I taught you on this tutorial and even more. So the docs is extremely detailed, extremely well written. If you have any questions, go on the docs. And if you don't find it on the docs, you can ask me on YouTube, on the comment section, or in my Twitter. I would I would gladly answer the questions. And if you want to go advanced in form actions, you want to do validations, you want to do some crazy things, then you most definitely want to check out Sveltekit Super Forms. It's one of the best libraries out there, period, for any JavaScript framework, Svelte or whatever, and it's hands down the best form library out there, period, as well. So if you want to take your form handling level in Sveltekit to another completely another different realm, then make sure you check out Sveltekit Form actions. I said Sveltekit Form actions, super forms, I mean. And if you guys might find it confusing, because I think there are a lot of things in super forms that are not just as natural, so you might not feel like this shouldn't work this way. If that's the case and you want me to do a complete crash course on super phones, then let me know. If I get enough requests, I might just do it. Just do a complete quick rundown on everything on super phones, and I'm pretty sure you guys will love it. Once you guys start using super phones, you probably won't not be able to use any other thing anymore, and it's going to be like a default to all your circuit applications. You start with circuit applications, you are installing super phones straight away because of you work with forms a lot when you build web applications, and super phones is just a breeze to work with. So highly advise you to check it out. Even if you don't have use for it currently, still checking out. It's a beautiful library. And that's all. So all the blabbling and all the writing for super forms, that's all. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm going to bed now. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.